Hello everyone, my name is Candace and I am starting my video blog here on YouTube, something I've wanted to do for a while. Now that I have more time to do the things that I love to do. I originally, if you look at my last video, the one I talk about my transition from from work to school to changing majors and all, and now with my new major I have a lot more time to do the things I enjoy. Um, I previously was an art and design major, but it was just I loved the major, but it was just taking up way too much time, and it was taking me away from God and taking me away from life. Period, because it was a lot to take in. So now that I'm here, I am adding blogs, if not every few days, at least every week. And so the subject of this video is I'm going to talk about Bernie Sanders dropping out of the presidential race last week, Wednesday. So I woke up Wednesday morning, and the first thing that pops up on my phone is that Bernie Sanders dropped out of the race. And even though I vote Republican, I was still very shocked to see that Bernie was the one that would drop out before Biden. Because as I um, read and watch politics, I saw that Bernie had a better track record as far as his personability, his connection with people. He was able to present himself a lot better than, say, Joe Biden. And the biggest strength with Bernie Sanders is that he he captured the millennial, some of the Zoomers, and that college crowd. So he had a young following. So that would made him more appealing to others because he was able to attract young people. And growing up, like politics and young people didn't really mix at one time. When I was growing up, it was like very far and few you heard people really involved in politics as they are today. People, the younger generations are now a lot more awake than say than before. Um, so that was an interesting take. How Saul said, "Yeah, he's a better campaigner," and he seemed to come across as sweet and kind because he had that charismatic persona. And think about this in an endearing way, like he's like he got like the mad scientist look going on, and it's like, oh, he's adorable. His followers are adorable and cute, that kind of thing. So it's like, let's do this, guys. Let's start a revolution, kind of thing. And so that I must say, of course, I don't agree with democratic socialism in any way, shape, or form of the word. But I must credit Bernie on saying that he had a much stronger campaign versus Joe Biden. And so I was very shocked that he dropped out. And with that being said, now the voters, you had three sections of voters basically. You had the Bernie supporters, then you had the Never Trumpers in the middle, then you had the Trump supporters on the right. So he had the Bernie supporters on the left side. The Never Trumpers are basically stuck. They're wedged in the middle between these two cliffs, and then you have the other cliff on the right, which is the Trump supporters. And so my thing is, and here are my three topics. Again, um, Bernie dropped out. Now the voters have to shift. And then basically I feel like they have basically all this shifting around has basically given Trump the victory. So, like I said, it was shocked that Bernie dropped out. And now we have the voters. Now they're basically having to really think about who to vote for. The Never Trumpers, they're just stuck on the border, wedged in the middle. They just don't know where to go. I know a lot of them wouldn't even vote for Bernie Sanders to begin with, so there's no change in that direction. They may doubt they'll vote for Joe Biden. I seriously doubt it because Never Trumpers, they are like the evangelical, old guard Republicans that don't want to change. And you probably see this trend in a lot of churches. A lot of older people are probably conservative, but they feel like Trump is just too out there for them, and I'm not going to be associated with that kind of thing. So there's your Never Trumpers. Your Bernie supporters, they were on the left cliff. But now that cliff has disappeared. Now the supporters have nowhere else to really go because the Bernie supporters do not care for Joe Biden whatsoever. So now they're having to shift their way around. They don't even know where to start because there's really no alternative for them other than Biden or Trump. And I guarantee you, in order to spite Biden, they will probably end up, some of them, I guarantee you, will end up voting for Trump. I guarantee you. Because they're not going to get stuck with the never Trumpers. They don't, the never Trumpers and the Biden supporters don't really care for each other either. Even though they are both against Trump, they don't like each other either. So it's kind of like, where do they go? They're just in limbo. The Bernie supporters are in complete limbo. So now you have that going on. And the Trump supporters, well, they, just doing their thing. They're, you know, going around and spreading the word, getting the word out. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing. And so now that's another thing that voters have to think about. Where do I go? Where do I shift? Now, when it comes to Joe Biden, the reason I was shocked that he's still running because this man, from the news pieces I've seen, you see the incident where he's biting on the woman's finger. I believe it was his wife. Then you see Joe Biden pathetically trying to pander to black people at a speech and talk about his hairy legs in the swimming pool and how the kids like to feel his hairy legs. Okay, I thought that was very creepy to have young children feel your hairy legs as a grown man in a swimming pool. That's very creepy. Number two, he insults a worker at one of his rallies, and the worker was just asking a question, and Biden gets offended because I guess it exposed his true intentions, and so he leaves and insults the worker. The worker is now he has his own like blog, and he's made a presence on Twitter and everything else after that incident. And so my thing is he insults his rally supporters Biden, and he does not relate to even his own crowd, let alone the millennials and the Zoomers crowd. And let me tell you, millennials are not impressed with senility. They don't like anything remotely senile, and Joe Biden is just that. He's very senile. He seems to be very incoherent. He just does not seem to know where he is. He just seems like he's out of touch with times. And it's like, okay, man, come on. Why don't you just give it up? Just everybody just drop out. Because I'm like, at this point in time, you're not going to win against Trump. It just is. Because if Trump won the way he did and nobody knew all the stuff that was going on, and now America is a lot more aware of what's going on, and then you have a lot of black Trump supporters that are coming out now and really openly supporting the president, and in the black community that Donald Trump has over a 40% approval rating, you can just hang it up. I mean, Trump won without much of the black support the first time. Okay, he has much more support now. He's gonna win. And that leads me to my third point. But with the Democrats basically devouring each other and eating each other alive and tripping each other up and hating each other, they dropped from like what they had like 20 to 30 people lined up last year. I remember I was sitting in the restaurant watching this clown show happen, and every time I look, every month, every few weeks, somebody's dropping out like flies, dropping. They like like you had Elizabeth Warren with the Pocahontas thing. You had that going on, and the Native Americans were not impressed with that. Then you had Kamala Harris trying to say she's trying to relate to black people. Black people were not having that. And then you had Beto O'Rourke and Buttigieg try to appeal to the gay crowd. The gays were not having that. So it's just like, come on, guys, stop pandering to people's sexual preference, and stop pandering to their gender, and please stop pandering to their race. And we're tired of all of that. I don't care if you're gay or straight or black or white or Christian or whatever, or Christian or not. People are tired with you pandering to their identity. They want you to address their issues and get the results done. And so far in my lifetime, the only person I've seen see do that in the White House is Donald Trump so far. He has done a list of things. You can go look up and see he has done a list of things for America as a whole, for the working class, and for the black community. He has done more for the black community than any other president I have seen in my lifetime. He has. He has funded the black colleges. He has started programs for single mothers in these rough neighborhoods. He started a program for that. He has appointed more blacks and more women in his cabinet than enough. He had. I mean, look at the Surgeon General today. He's a black man. So I'm just saying, like all this race pandering is not working for us anymore because we see that we don't have to go through that just junk. You don't have to go for that. So again, like I said, while the Democrats continue to do the pathetic race pandering and the gender pandering and the sexual preference pandering, it's not solving our problems because I don't care what any of these you have or are. You got to pay taxes, you got to work, you got a family to work for, to provide for. It doesn't matter at this point. It doesn't matter if you're black or white. You still got to get out there and make a living for yourself and your family. Doesn't matter if you're gay or not. You have to make a living for you and your family. I don't care if you're Christian or not. You have to make a living for you and your family, and that's comprised of the working class. The working class is like we've had enough. So this is why the Democrats have basically eaten themselves alive and basically worked themselves. They worked their own demise. So yeah, that basically led me to my third point again. A quick recap: I was shocked that Bernie dropped out of the race first because he was more personable with his followers. No, I don't agree with democratic socialism, but I must give him credit. He was very personable and very charismatic toward his followers. He captured the millennials and some of the Generation Z. He captured the college crowd. Um, Secondly, the voters now have to shift around and figure out what they want to do. They don't know where to go. They have to now make some adjustment because, like I said, the Bernie supporters and the Biden supporters, they do not mix. And now that Biden is the only contender for the Democratic nominee as the run for president, now he has to basically redeem himself from his faulty pandering. Same thing again. And if he feels with the blacks, if he feels with everybody else, if the Democrats feel with everybody else they thought would be pandered to easily, I would love to see how Joe Biden is going to pander to Zoomers and the millennials. I would love to see, because again, I say, millennials and Zoomers are grossed out by anything that's remotely senile. It's just not their thing. So, they're not going to vote for creepy Joe Biden, who keeps sniffing people and sniffing things on stage doing photo ops. I don't think the millennials and the Zoomers are going to be for that because that is just creepy. That's creepy for me, and I'm in an older generation and think Joe is very creepy. So, what do you think for a younger generation? They're going to think that's 10 times as creepy. The man, I'm sorry, but the man is creepy. I'm just going to say it. He's very creepy. He did not have a personal relationship with his followers. He did not. Not Joe Biden. I'm sorry. He did not. And thirdly, with all that's going on, and people are waking up and becoming more aware of what's really going on and why, because especially during the wake of this lockdown, people are now being awoken that haven't been woken before and now seeing that America's rights and things are at stake. Now they see, oh, this is not a joke. So with all this waking up, I do believe a lot of people are going to go over to Donald Trump's side, and because they see that the other side just fighting amongst themselves and not trying to fight for America. So again, my third point, I believe they really just making it easy for Trump to be reelected. It's like they, you know, pow pow. It's wild in politics. So, like I said, again, I was shocked that Sanders dropped out. And the voters now had to shift around. And again, with all this shifting around and basically people having to do some insight, some self searching. you know, all that's going on. They pretty much gave Trump the deal, the win. And like I said, if you won by as much as you did last time, you can forget it. So many people are awake now. And now they see, oh yeah, we better do something because America, our freedom is at stake right now. And if we don't wake up, we don't want to keep living under this test-taste socialism because at one time or another, it'll be real life socialism, which I find ironic that Bernie dropped out of in the wake of. You know, I'm like, isn't this what you're for? This is your gravy train right here. You know, this socialism, but he drops out in the wake of us doing a test taste of socialism. So it was like, where are you going to go? So yeah, so I wanted to discuss that. Think about those 3 points. You know, again, you know, Bernie dropping out. That probably shocked his voters, and then the voters now, all the voters across America have to really think about. Well, besides the Trump supporters, they're gonna stay where they are. They were like, I'm all for Trump, and like I said, the never Trumpers are stuck in the middle, just wedged in between all this. They don't even know what to do. Like, they make one wrong move and shift that boulder, they're going into free fall, just falling down because they don't even know where to go. And like I said, this is just making it better and easier for Trump to win. It's making it much clearer that yeah, Trump is going to pretty much win the presidency again. And people in society and media know this. This is why China manufactured their coronavirus to basically get back at us and delay things because they know if Trump wins again, China is going to be on their butts. And the people in America that was connected to them in the Democratic Party is going to be on their butts. So that's what all this is. So again, I say thank you for watching. I really enjoyed doing this video piece. Because like I said, the Bernie supporters, they're not bad people. I think they're some of the sweetest people. I just don't agree. I just don't think they really see the dangers in democratic socialism. I've talked with a few of them. They're very kind people, you know. But at the same time, they know I'm a Trump supporter, you know. And so, like I said, the Bernie people, they seem to be more personable than the Biden's campaign people. I was like, oh my geez, like, how are you gonna be impersonal toward the people that support you? Ugh, it's not good. Anyway, thank you for watching. Check out my other videos. One video I talked about in the church, be careful who ministers over you. And in my other video, I talk about how I now got back into video blogging. And stay tuned, I'm going to have more videos up soon. So I really want you also to watch the one about how we need to be more appreciative of what we have in America. I think this lockdown will really resonate with people and really realizing the freedoms that we have. So again, thanks for watching. Check out my other videos and have a good night.